on this program do not necessarily reflect or represent those of the owners, management, or advertisers of Pacific Telestations Inc. This message has been brought to you by the stations of KUAM.
You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Hey, good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. So excited tonight. Got my good buddy, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. First time this year, right?
First time,
year?
yes. Thank you, Senator. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you very much again for accepting my invite to come here tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about, of course, the bill you recently introduced. I think it was almost 2 months now that you introduced it? Something like that?
Last month, yes.
Last month, okay. Bill number 80-33. And this is basically getting the cost savings from these bonds, basically. Right. 07 and 09 bonds, right?
Yes.
Okay, which will come to about $45 million, and that will go towards, you're proposing, based with on the makeup of a task force as well, that their findings are going to be coming out pretty soon,
yes,
right?
That's right.
And your proposal is to build a new GMH. Now, when I first saw that, I had a big hiccup,
Sure.
and I'm going. And most people, I'm sure you've heard critics. I've been one of them,
yes,
actually.
Yes.
And basically, you say, well, why can't we fix what we have right now before we build a new hospital? We have a brand new hospital opening up here, right? So again, your thoughts. You're the chairman of healthcare,
Yes.
right? And so please tell us.
Well, thank you again very much for inviting me. Always love to come on the show. I introduced Bill 80, which is first to refund two of the bonds, 2007, 2009. From that, we'll realize about 45 million. And at the same time, I've assembled a task force that's comprised of government representatives. I call them the experts in government and in the hospital most especially, and also representatives from the private sector. We have two goals. The first goal is not in this, it's not in this particular order,
Sure,
right?
sure.
That in the order of
Sure.
priority. However, the first goal was to look at a plan to build a new hospital, right? We've seen our hospital now. It was never meant to be what it is today. All we did was just build and patch things up.
Well,
right?
it started off to be a convent at the very beginning.
That's right. That's right. And so we have what we have today. And so we came across the study that was done in 2010. The hospital commissioned a study, a feasibility study on the structure. And so we saw the types of work that needs to be done. And we're told these estimates that were provided to me are not confirmed or not, these were back then, right? Numbers that were back then, probably even more today. But was anywhere from 73 million to over 100 million to get the hospital up to standard.
Up to speed, basically.
Yeah, to get it up to code. And that's not even expanding it to where,
That's not adding more beds and all that.
Well, I believe
a few beds. Okay.
The plan
okay.
is to add some beds there,
Okay.
but that was in 2010.
Okay.
Landscape today, even if it's just 5 years ago, it's very different. And so and then just like in your house also, right?
Sure.
You kind of think, okay, am I going to put a nice coat of paint and make it look good? Put some new furniture. But let's say that the foundation is not it's not sound. You have to really look at what the problem is and go to that problem and address it.
Sure.
And so we said, are we going to put in that much money into that hospital, or are we going to look at a way to perhaps make good use of that hospital, develop a reuse plan for that for a private organization to probably take over it, lease it, or sell it. And proceeds of that, use proceeds of that to put together with this 45 million and whatever other source that we can get our hands on, and build a new hospital for our people, right? There's new technology now that our hospital needs to really to have, and so that that was the vision, is to look at that. However, we're not close to looking at what we can do with our existing hospital. In that report, it gives you what the estimated lifespan of each building. There's different buildings in that hospital. One of them is totally needs to be taken down. That's the Z wing. It's still being used though, and so it is dangerous for the people that work there, for the patients. And so we need to take a look at those. And so this is what the task force is doing, is taking a look at that aspect of it. However, the second part of the task force goals, I think, is the most important. people kind of, the media, some of the media, took it as, okay, this is what we're going to do, build a new hospital. Well, that's not going to solve the challenges we face over the years.
Sure, sure.
And so the goal 2 is to look at a different business model on how we can get our hospital to a level where it needs to be.
And that's where I want to focus in as well, because we know as a government, okay, as a government Guam, we're great at building. We know how to build, okay.
That's right.
We're not very good at maintaining, okay, because we just don't do that. And in regards to the business model, don't we have to also look at amendment maybe to the Organic Act and how the compensation packages at this point? Because one of the things, I know a little bit about GMH. I was once the vice chair of the committee on health years back. So I have a little bit of knowledge. And one of the things that we had back then that continues to plague the hospital is the non-payment, the non-payers, that regardless of how much you increase the fees, and we know we need to increase it, but the fact remains is that you're increasing, you're only burdening the people that can pay. You're not doing anything for the people who cannot pay, So those are the things that what we have to look at. Of course, the business model, but again, what the Organic Act says, and on how that public hospital will be.
And that's treating people, and that's treating people regardless of their ability to
regardless of their ability to pay.
That's right.
And so, who in their right mind will invest money and know that, well, I'm going to have to take a big hit because we haven't amended that. It hasn't, we haven't removed a clause to the point that really. That it's not going to allow me to stay in the, to get into the black.
That's right, and you're absolutely right. And so the task force, we've already done a lot of work looking at different models, right?
Sure.
And across the country, across the United States, and even in foreign countries, when their public hospitals look like how ours is, they look at these alternatives, right? And alternatives are public-private partnerships. Some are leasing, some are outsourcing, or an outright sell, right? Well, we can't do that, because we have a lot, or there's a way to do those things, but we got to look at all the different factors, right? One of it being that we must treat everyone regardless of their ability to pay.
Sure.
But if you take a look at now what the government of Guam is subsidizing that hospital, right? And so, one of the options, or one of the models that we've taken a look at that is that if you do a public-private partnership, you have the private organization run certain services, but still maintaining majority ownership as a government of Guam, then it's not the profits that we're looking for, that we're going to keep in our pockets. It's the profits then are going to be used for our share in ensuring we take care of the indigent population.
Sure,
right?
but I got to take a break here. But on the other hand, the private sector investor there, they want the profit to continue as well, because they have to pay their shareholders as well, and in order for them to continue to build on and to add services, they must make a profit. And in order to make that profit, people have to be happy and well compensated and all that, right? But let's take a break and then come back and talk more about this. Be right back.